further ado, let's dig right into this, sir. Let's dig right
All right,
in.
let's get into this. So let's talk about something that kind of transpired over the week that's really is right adjacent to everything that's happening in the news right now. Some of y'all boy, he's not my boy, but some of y'all boy, Drew Brees stepped in it this week. Drew
Woo!
Brees. If you don't know who Drew Brees is, he is he owns damn near every passing record in the NFL, all the main ones. He's and one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He is currently still holding on to being the quarterback, the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, Super Bowl champion, known as a quiet, had a unblemished record. One of those people that corporate America likes to call on when they need to sell some products.
Indeed.
Even though he has nothing that even resembles a personality, but I guess that's part of having the complexion for the connection. Drew Brees, he was doing an interview earlier this week, and the gentleman that was interviewing him asked him, with everything that's going on in the world right now, with the George Floyd murder and lynching, and the protests that have been going on for days and days at that point, cities across America on fire. Hell, there's people protesting. There's cities on fire outside of the United States.
Right.
It's going down.
That's right. All over.
So the gentleman that was interviewing was a sports journalist, but he asked him a fair question. Hey, with the NFL season coming up right now, how do you feel about players this upcoming season kneeling during the national anthem to bring further awareness to police brutality?
Yes.
So Drew Brees did like every host on Fox News, every clip of Rush Limbaugh I've heard, like every who is a robot, just pigeoning out right wing and white supremacist talking points. He said, if somebody is kneeling before the flag, that is disrespect, and I cannot. Not only can I not abide by it, I don't respect it.
That's what he said.
It's on fire. Is clamoring for police officers to be tried and held accountable for lynching a man in the streets of an American city on tape. And his thought was, hey, if you're kneeling now, you're still disrespecting the flag. I still don't get it. And I don't respect it. Didn't mention a thing about Black Lives Matter. Didn't mention a thing about George Floyd. Didn't mention a thing about police brutality. He left it right there. That was his statement. And I don't know if you've been watching the news. I'm sure you have, but hey, the hammer came down. Do you want to talk about how the hammer came down, Money?
Well, the hammer came down. The thing about it is it came down swift. In the words of T.I., it came down expeditiously. Expeditiously. There was no wait, no nothing. I mean, they drug him on Twitter. You had his own. Here's the thing that was just cold-witted. You had his own teammates drag him, and duly noted, you should have got dragged. You should have got dragged because first and foremost, my deal is you're saying it's disrespectful to who? Who is that's your opinion? That's disrespectful to you? And I guess the thing that I thought was real interesting that I find that a lot of white folk, a lot. I'm not saying all. I would never do that because that's ridiculous, okay? But a lot, when they want to put forth the military, and you're talking to a veteran coming from a big military family, they want to throw that out there. Oh, my father or my grandfather, like he threw it out. What did he say? My grandfather, World War II, and this that. And I salute that. But you don't understand that my grandfather in the same war in Vietnam, my uncles in Vietnam, my grandfather in World War II, when they came back, they didn't get that parade like your papa did. In some cases, they took off our black men's uniform. You had some got killed, some got lynched. How in the world you gonna tell me about being respectful to the flag or a patriot when my grandfather, your grandfather, fought for a country that not only didn't want them, but could care less, and thought of him as was it 3/5 of a man? Right. But yet and still, they went on ahead and fought. And I was like, almost, how dare you? How dare you?
He did the real weak move. See, when people don't have really a good reason for their position, they always like to fall back on something that sounds good. Like I feel that's disrespectful for the flag, and I love the flag so much through my grandfather who fought in World War II.
Just wrap myself in that comfort, that privilege, I
want to wrap myself in the privilege of my grandfather. Now, here's the thing about it. I get sick of people doing this, and if it's military folk that have, military parents and grandparents, personally, I'm just going to give you my opinion. I think it's weak as hell for people to try to wrap themselves in the patriotism of the military when they didn't serve themselves. I just personally feel like you should not do that. Now, you can tell me the story of the greatness of your father or the greatness of your or the valor of your grandfather. You can tell me those stories, but I'm not going to give you credit for what they did.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that, and my sentiments are just the same. Go ahead, sir. My sentiments are just the same.
The thing is, now, if you are a military family, meaning father or mother is active duty, so the sacrifice that the parent makes by being in the military, the family has a sacrifice too. That's a little bit different. But if you're talking about something that happened before you was even thought of, pimping, don't nobody want to hear that. But the reason why I even mention that is he wanted to disguise what he was saying instead of showing the contempt for the situation of black folks, and I don't care about black folks. He tried to spice it up by saying, well, my grandfather fought in World War II, and that's why I love the flag so much, and I can't respect it.
Right.
And the thing I love, which actually I was a little bit shocked, what black football players are pretty timid. To be so big and strong, they be some real timid dudes when it's time to talk real about something.
Right.
And across the board, they came down on it.
They did.
Fully.
They
including teammates, including his number one target, his number one receiver came down on him. His former number one running back came down on him. The leader of the defense came down on him. I mean, it was swift and it was hard. And all the partial coolish people that commentators on ESPN came down on him. I was shocked. It was amazing.
It was. I mean, you had cats that I didn't think that were going to come out and really put him on blast or whatnot. And pretty much, the thing I was saying that I was hearing a lot is number one, bad timing. Bad timing, and number two, don't you realize that what Cap was doing had nothing to do with the flag, but yet and still you're pushing that talking point that Trump I'm just gonna call it Trump talking point because he's the one that pushed it. He's the one that put that all out there as quote unquote disrespectful. And so you're helping pushing a narrative that really has no legs to stand on.
And the heat got so bad he had to turn around and apologize. I think he apologized twice. And now yesterday, even his wife had to apologize, and she was basically apologizing that her husband is a dick. Is basically how it went down. She was like, "I apologize for my husband's comments. We are the problem." Those were her exact words.
Right.
We, speaking of her and her husband, we are the problem.
Right.
Fantastic. Shout out to that sister. What's her name? Ashley or something? Ashley. What's her name? It's something.
Can I go ahead? Let me go ahead and give her the bell. Let me go and give her the bell.
She sister, and yeah.
But you know what? When he apologized, I'm not sure if he apologized twice, but the one thing I know that he did is because Trump came on the heels, if you remember, right afterwards, and said that because after he apologized and came back, and that's a whole nother thing because you said what you said. That was in your heart. And so here's the real deal, because if you would have never got dragged and nobody commented you would have let that ride. You would have let that ride.
Yeah.
You would have let that ride. So, but what happens is you got flamed up and you had to, and Trump came back and said that, oh, Drew Brees, you know, he's really great and this and that and the other. He should have never apologized because our flag should never be disrespected. No kneeling. And then Drew Brees came right back immediately within an hour and like totally distanced himself from Trump. Look, I don't know what that fool talking about, but no, I stand by. This is what we need to do. I apologize. This is what we need to do. This is what I am going to do. And this is what we need to be concentrating on moving forward. So he made sure that he distanced himself away from the bunker.
Right.
You know, but, you know, hey.
One last point about this Drew Brees thing.
Yes, sir.
Oh boy, and I'm talking straight to Drew Brees. You meant exactly what you said. You said the same thing back in 2016 when public opinion, at least for the folks that you care about most, was on your side. The problem is you stuck to that old dogma when new information came through and you didn't change your mind. And now, because you backed into a corner, now you want to talk about how you've learned and how you figured it out. You had 4 years to learn. Hell, you could have spent the last 4 days watching cities burn across America and figured out something different. So I don't want to hear nothing about you. You know, you feel bad because people hate your guts now, and now all of a sudden you learn something. I know you lying, pimp. I know you are. And I don't accept any apology from you because you spoke your truth. That's who you are. Now you lay in it.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Let's be real with it, is that I'm curious. Here's my thing. I'm curious to see what he does, because I'm about that. I'm curious to see what he does as in his actions. Okay, I heard what you said. Let me see what you do. I'm just gonna kick back. I'm just gonna see what you do, because the thing about it is, if folks think they got it, all of a sudden now they got it. I'm sorry, you don't got it. You just got a little inkling here. You just got a little inkling. You ain't got it. Right now, what you need to do is educate yourself, learn, read some books, do some research, the stuff that you're not taught in school, that should be taught in school. You know, not his story, but the real history. Okay?
Yeah.
And so that's what he needs to do moving forward, which, just like you said, he should have been doing that 4 years ago. Okay? Knowing good and well that 70% of your team is black. Okay? Okay?
In a black city, and they hold you as an icon, and you disrespected mates, but your city and people around the country. So Drew Brees, EAD, my guy.